What up, dudes? Welcome on in. We got the college football committee releasing their stuff, and now you're starting to see so many like if, ands, buts scenarios. Wesley has this little this website that you can go and do all these questions to, which we're going to do that. And then we have some good playoff questions, college football questions, and then this is the time of the year where the inbox starts filling up. And like I had to put together a list today of the Broyles Award. So that's the top assistant coach in the country. And I'm like, all right, top 5, had to do that. And then Biletnikoff, and I was like, holy cow, like do that exercise. The top 5 receivers in college football. So we'll kind of hit some of that. We'll start talking about the draft a little bit because we're definitely going to be all over the draft because it parlays so well with college football. We're watching all this tape, doing all this study, and then it moves right to. So we'll talk about kind of the shooting fish in a barrel, what the draft's going to look like. Podium King, like always. We got some good ones in there. And then we got CJ Carr. We had a little pivot. If you watched Friends growing up, you know what that means. Pivot. Love had a scheduling conflict, so we grabbed CJ Carr earlier today. It's a pretty good interview, too. We grabbed him before practice. New hairdo, which is really interesting. We asked him about that as well. So, Wesley, fill me in on this. SEC has 6 teams in the top 12, 9 in the top 25. It just means more in the hunt. Yes, I know that pisses people off, which is fun to say. So tell me about the tiebreakers. I think everybody probably goes right away like, yeah, I know, I got it, bro. Head-to-head clearly is going to be the most important one. But then I guess how does this site work? How do the next things go? Are you muted?
My bad.
Dude, by the way, that's twice in 2 shows. You're officially fined.
All right, what do I owe you?
A quarter in the jar.
All right, you got it.
Yep.
I'll mail it to you this week. All right, so before we go through this website, it's called bball.notnothing.net. It looks like a Russian basement operator is running this thing. I don't know who makes it. Very mysterious. But I do want to go through the SEC tiebreaker rules, which is kind of crazy. It gets crazier as you go along. First is head-to-head. Then it's record against common conference opponents. Then it's record against highest common conference opponent in the standings. And then it's cumulative conference winning percentage. All right. So if you're getting this far, you're in a lot of trouble. And it never does get this far. But since the SEC does have 6 teams in the top 12, 9 in the top 25, figure we might as well dive into it. Next to last.
Please skip to the last one at some point because it's my favorite.
The last one is terrific. Yeah. This is the next to last. Capped relative total scoring margin. I don't even know what that means. Per Sports Source Analytics. All right, so you're getting some third parties in. But then the last one, if all those things are still tying people up, it is a random draw of the tied teams. I'm picturing like the Friday Night Lights scene where they flip the coins in the truck stop. That's what you're getting to. But I'm going to pull this site up here and show you guys. It's really cool. We'll put a link in the description. Really fun to play around with. But if you go to this site here, take it full, you can pick the results of these games over the next few weeks. So if you want to, you want to go chalk, you want Alabama over LSU, Florida, Kentucky won't really be a factor. Probably Texas A&M over Missouri. Let's say Georgia beats Mississippi State and Vandy and Auburn. So I'm just going to go through here, but then you can calculate the standings. So based on what I had there, A&M and Bama are in the SEC championship. And I think most likely just based on how things are now, if you go chalk, that's what you're going to get. But DP, as you look at these, what are some games that you want to play around with that you think could maybe get a little squirrely for Georgia, for Bama, for A&M? I mean, Texas is this team on the board here that can really mess a lot of things up.
How about Texas losing to Texas beating Georgia, beating A&M, and then Oklahoma beating Alabama?
All right. Let's run that. And I got Auburn beating Alabama here. I probably shouldn't have that. But you got Texas over A&M.
Yep, Texas over A&M, Texas over Georgia.
Yep. All right, here we go.
And then you got Oklahoma over Alabama.
Yeah, there you go. Alabama and A&M. So, I mean, y'all play around with this. it's just fun. It's a fun exercise. We know how this conference is. We know how many teams you had in your CFP 12 over the last few weeks, and we've seen those SEC teams just dwindle down because they beat each other up. But it is the deepest conference in college football when you look at the college football playoff rankings. So, Brent, did you have anything that you're eyeing here in these standings and these tiebreakers?
Well, mainly just that kind of Texas is still very much alive, but they have to win. They have to win out to be in the SEC championship game.
When you play 5-3 the rest of the season, you're very much alive. Like that's very, and you lost to 1 by 7 at their place. Like it's, I mean, they had some scares versus Mississippi State and Kentucky, and I get it, but like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter at all when you're going to play great teams and have a chance to cure all those ails.
The other thing is, Ole Miss is sitting pretty.
So pretty.
They went out. There is, I've played with this thing a little bit.
Of course,
the chance that they make the SEC championship game is like so small. It's very small. Like chaos has to happen for them to play, likely even potentially Georgia again, and that's just not. I don't think
does it
there's
really
any
though?
scenario where they do.
All you got to do is Georgia lose to Texas, or I mean that's another SEC loss, and then Texas A&M beat Texas. Oklahoma beats Alabama. They're in.
Texas A&M will still be ahead of them. They have to lose twice.
Yeah, but they're ahead of Alabama because they have 1 loss.
No, but I'm just saying Ole Miss. For Ole Miss to
Yeah.
be in the SEC championship thing, they're like it's very small. It's trust me.
I mean,
very small.
Because then you would go, if Alabama lost to Oklahoma, there's a common opponent with Ole Miss right there. So they would win the tiebreaker. Texas loses to or Texas beats Georgia. That night.
All right, Wes, are you doing this as he's going through it? See if we
let's not do it because we're probably boring the piss out of people. But that's absolutely, if you're thinking about Texas getting another loss, Alabama getting another SEC loss, or getting an SEC loss and have the common opponent. Yes, Rooks, your head hurts in the chat. But anyways, if you feel like being a loser and going and play with that stuff, have at it. You and Brent can maybe hit each other up.
Not being a loser. It's just
I'm the one who brought it up, so I'm the loser. But
well, Brent said he's played with it, and I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean,
like that.
The website, it was there last year, and last year it was insane looking at that because there was scenarios where you had 6 teams, I think, with the 2 losses. If 1 game, 2 games maybe goes differently. But yeah, it's still like I said, Ole Miss is sitting pretty to win out and be 11-1.
Beat Florida and you're in.
And be the 6th seed, or in the college football playoff, or 7 seed or something like that, and get a home game. Like that, they are in a beautiful spot. That's one where you had A&M in the playoff in the preseason. I had Ole Miss. I feel pretty good about both of those predictions.
All right, let's get some college football questions.
All right, so the playoff rankings come out, and one of the things that yes, leave it to the PFF guy to dig deeper. I'm also just a nerd at heart, JR.
We see you, JR Morris, in the chat. That a boy.
But we talked about this in the preseason, and I think both of us kind of an instantaneous response was no to this question. Do you think we see an undefeated champion this year?
There's several things that we were wrong about in the preseason when it comes to this. We said there wouldn't be dynasties anymore. Ohio State's like, yep, what'd you say? I'm sorry. Like, we can do this back-to-back thing. And then we talked about like this season and being able to run the table. Now, listen, I'll be honest. I didn't know the Big Ten was going to be this weak. I mean, because you look at
their schedules, the way their schedules, them and Indiana.
When Indiana don't play each other and they're clearly the 2 best teams, when you avoid Oregon altogether with those 3 teams, like, you think Penn State's going to be something. Obviously, they're not. And then the bottom of the league being mush, like it's mush. I mean, it's just it's a good storm of it, but like, yeah, I mean, I could see it this year. Now I still wouldn't bet it because it's going to be hard. I mean, you got to run the golf. Either way, when you get in the playoff games, man, when you start playing good teams, like you got to bring it, man. Like you're gonna have to play good football for several weeks in a row with the playoffs because you're gonna have so many teams that are in this that are good, and the talent isn't that big. And here's another thing too. injuries haven't hit certain teams at certain spots yet either. That's still a part of it, man. It's the part that sucks the most by far. But it's also the part as season goes on, bodies get more tired. It's something that happens, unfortunately, and it's not the fun part. It's actually my least favorite part about sport.
All right, so last year we had talked about this. I think we talked about it, maybe not. There were 3 teams that were in the initial top 11 that did not make the college football playoff. One of those was Miami at number 4 last year, 9-0, who finished 10-2, did not. One was BYU, I think, who was undefeated at that time again at this time again last year.
Yeah.
And then Alabama was another team that was in the top 11. So as you look at the top 11 right now, where you've got Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Texas, who's not making, like, which, if you had to pick at least 2, who's not
BYU
making
and
the college
Virginia.
football playoff? Well, they're not 11th ranked, like in terms of the actual ranking. They're in right now because of the ACC part. But in terms of just top 11 teams, they're not there yet. So they still got a chance.
Neither is one of those other teams, though. I mean,
all the ones that I just listed.
Okay, so give them to me again.
So I was Ohio State,
BYU is
Indiana,
one of
A&M.
them.
So BYU, you think, or Texas Tech, they're at 7 and 8. If you had to pick one of those to not make the playoff, who you think?
Texas Tech already has the loss. I think we've already made the picks. I think Texas Tech's going to win, and then BYU is going to have a chance to have multiple losses and be out of it. So
they still have Cincinnati and TCU on their schedule,
and they could lose. They could easily lose 2 of those games easily.
I agree with that one. If I had to pick another one, and this is interesting because I also said this morning, I think when we did the picks thing, that if I had to pick somebody who could win the whole thing that wasn't in the top, say 4 to 5, I picked Notre Dame, but also think they might be the team that, because of the Pitt game, like they go lose to Pitt, they're done. They're not in the playoff. Sorry,
they're done. Yeah,
and there might be a world where Miami somehow like gets their head on right in a weird way and wins out in a big way, beats Pitt. And looks good doing it, that sort of thing. And then now you have them with matching 10-2 records and playing well, and Notre Dame maybe gets pushed out.
Where is Oregon at right now?
Oregon is 9th.
I think that's pretty telling. Oregon's at 9 now. Oregon, their schedule is brutal down the stretch. Like it's not like Indiana and Ohio State. I mean, theirs is really, really tough. I absolutely could see Oregon being that team too. Because, I mean, it's a tough schedule the rest of the way. So I could see them, if they take another loss, they're going to fall significantly. Again, their best win is Northwestern. Like, they don't have – there's no quality meat on the bone to go, yeah, like I'm in. That's a tough one. They got to beat somebody at some point.
At Iowa this week, then Minnesota, USC at home, and then at Washington to finish the season.
I'd be shocked if they went undefeated for the rest of the way. I'd be shocked if they beat all those teams. I would be very surprised.
That's going to very much put them potentially on the fringe.
No.
So that's just sort of historically looking at this, we had to throw some teams maybe out there that wouldn't necessarily make the playoff. All right, which I put Notre Dame in a special category for this next one because we tend to
they don't count because they do their own thing.
Well, they're special. Which 2-loss team do you think is most likely to make the college football playoff and go on a run and finish out? So I'll give you some possibilities. Texas is one. Oh. Oklahoma, Utah, Vanderbilt, non-zero chance there. Miami, Southern Cal, Michigan, or Washington. I'll give you those kind of options.
I'd give you Utah. Utah would be the one that I think. They've found, watching them play against Cincinnati the other day, I think they've really found what they are offensively, and it's weird and it's quirky and it's different, but I think they're going to run the piss out of Dampier. They're going to run Wildcat. They're going to use their freaky 360-pound tight end, which is fantastic. I think they're solid on both sides, and I could see them putting a run together and being a team that jumps up in there, even though they already have the losses.
And based on what we talked about a little bit ago, they'd have to face. I think they would potentially be in the Big 12 championship game in that scenario, unless Cincinnati still finishes with one loss in conference and gets that title game berth. But if Utah gets a chance to play Texas Tech again in the Big 12 championship, that could be there.
Yeah.
All right. And then also, I think this is one that I felt actually really confident about this going into the season. And I don't know how confident I am in it right now. Do you think there's a 3-loss team that gets in as an at-large team?
Yeah, all the 1 losses that are log jamming now, and the 2 losses that.
And basically, the question I think comes down to 3-loss SEC team, or maybe a 3-loss Big Ten team versus a different ACC team with a better record, or a Big 12 team.
I still think you're going to get it. I still think we'll get it this year. I think we'll be splitting hairs at the end of the year, and we're going to go with some like where Texas is at right now gives them a really good chance to be that team, because Texas has 2 losses, and look who they're over. Go get a big win of Georgia or A&M, play really close, and now you go, wait a minute. They didn't play a Little Sisters of the Poor out of conference. They played the number 1 team in the country out of conference, went to their place and barely lost. Am I really going to penalize them for going across the country and playing a great out-of-conference team that we all got to enjoy? Like, I think that would come down. I think that would be a say in that matter. And with that, like, I think Texas would be a 3-loss team that would be in.
So they would, if that's the case, let's say they play Georgia tough and lose by 3 at Georgia, then beat A&M, who would potentially be 11-0 at that point at home, and finish with wins over Arkansas and A&M. They might be. You're right. They're them because of the Ohio State being the other loss. Like they're the one team I think that can make it as a 3-loss team
out of conference. They didn't have to play the game, man. Like, are you really going to start penalize people for playing good teams? Because otherwise, screw it. I'm going Indiana route. And Cignetti was very clear. He was like, I'm not doing it, bro. Like, we're going to go play the worst football teams in America that we possibly can so we can't lose, and get tuned up, get used to our schedule while we're flying high and we're ready to rock and roll. So, like, I mean, I think in that case, you might be upset with it, but I would agree with it. Like, I absolutely would agree with it.
Especially if that other 2 lost. So here's that scenario: is 9-3 Texas, 10-2 Oklahoma.
Yeah,
who maybe is beating Bama, and those are the 2 that they're.
Anyway, I don't think there's any world. I don't think there's any world ever that Oklahoma wins out and they're not in the college football playoff. If that's the case, like I'm out of here. Like I'm leaving. Like I'm leaving the sport. Like you go play that schedule and you play a ranked team out of conference in Michigan, like and you go take care of business and you win that, like screw you. I quit. Like absolutely not. Oklahoma fans, they got screwed enough with the schedule coming into the league compared to Texas. That would be an ultimate screw job.
It's amazing to think of what potential chaos that does exist in all this, and there will be chaos. I think that's the one thing we know for certain. Yes. It will be chaos. There will be discussion points out the wazoo. All this will be debated.
It's freaking awesome. It's fantastic. Like, that's why we love this thing so much, dudes. All right. Let's get to some list me. I'm going to list you, and then I'll let y'all respond. So the Broyles Award is for the best assistant coach in the country. This is a really good way to look at the best units. Who's obviously you got to be a good team to win this. Like they don't give this to teams that are very average. First guy that came to mind was Matt Patricia to come into Ohio State to rebuild the roster. Yes, he's got good pieces, but to rebuild the roster and be where they're at and be as dominant as they've been, if he's not on the list of semifinalists, I'd be shocked. Absolutely shocked. I'd be blown away. So Matt Patricia's one on the list. Next one on the list is Bryant Haynes for Indiana. Like, how many years in a row now? This is 2 years in a row where Indiana, yes, they brought a ton of people from JMU and they bring in transfers, but the system is good, man. You watch this defense, they know who they are, they know what they are, they know how to twist, they know how to stunt, they know how to play the ball in the air. Like it's just fun and it's good and it's technical and it's sound and it's great freaking coaching. It's why Cignetti said when he got this money, when he got that big fat Santa Claus bag of cash, he was like, bro, I'm paying my assistants. It's a big deal to me. And he did with Haynes for a reason. So Indiana's DC, big time. He's a dog for sure. For sure, Zach Martin in the chat. Ryan Grubb. We talked about it in the offseason. It was the reason why I felt confident in Bama returning and being so great. The pairing of DeBoer and Grubb. Grubb has been lights out. Like lights out, dude. Play calling, dialing it up. Is he pass happy a little bit too much for me? Probably a little bit, but they don't run the football that great, so do what you do great. And he's done an unbelievable job continuing to dial up plays and develop a quarterback that's a first-time starter and making him look like a Heisman Trophy candidate. So Ryan Grubb, he's the next guy on the list at 3. I didn't put these in any order, by the way, of who would win, but these are the 5 guys that came to mind. Brent, be looking because I want you to, after I'm done, you can dissect this. But here's a guy that I don't know that anybody's going to have on their list. Aaron Roderick from BYU. When I went and we did the Something's Brewing with BYU a couple weeks ago, and I watched their offense, I was blown away. This is a guy that was fired in the past, I think, by Utah or BYU in the past, maybe even. But dude, they've taken a freshman quarterback and remained undefeated, and in some big moments they've been absolutely fantastic. So I got Aaron Roderick on that award or on that list, and then I got Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech. Haynes King centric offense, but to dial up all the crap he dials up, man, it's insane. Like it's a ridiculous amount of, now you're seeing so much with the little shoot route to the tight ends, and it's just easy and it looks simple. And that's when you're a really good offensive coordinator, when you make it look really, really simple. So Matt Patricia, Bryant Haynes, Ryan Grubb, Aaron Broderick, Buster Faulkner, Brent Rollins. Who do we leave off? Anybody come to mind right away?
My first thought was the Sheil Wood, the defensive coordinator at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Because not only now granted, how you got the players, we all know how.
Pretty good free agency.
You have to take the players and make it work.
And in year one, because he's just getting there too, and they're just getting there. So I agree. Again, you can only do 5, but he absolutely should be on the list, the short list of these guys for sure.
Coach Haynes at Indiana is one that's unique to me, and all these guys for the most part are kind of like this. But the background of starting so low from a where you start standpoint to where you end up lends to, I think, what you're talking about with the technical aspects of all this. You didn't start with this world where you exist with great players and you can just put great players in position to be great. It's, hey, we have to be sound at every level and every little detail that we do, and be able to defend a lot of different things.
And have answers.
Various level teams, all that.
I have to have answers. Like I can't just say my guy in space, right? Like that's not a thing.
No. And Roderick, I don't know if he still sports it, but I know some of when you just sort of look up Google images on him, like really seriously good mustache, like looks very Doc Holliday-esque with the hair and the mustache, old school in a way, but. That's just me being jealous.
Weren't you impressed with him when we did the breakdown and just watching him design zone offense, man offense? Like we literally could do a film session with him, and you'd be like, "Gosh darn!" The detail, the nuance. It's fun to watch when we study these guys on tape, man. When you watch the QB and the QB knows what the answers are, and it times up with his feet, like his feet and his eyes and his head, like it's called good coaching. Like
that's coaching.
It's rare. Like it's very rare to find it in college football. You see more of it in the NFL, but when you see it, it's like that's really good. And how do you take pieces and make them work together? So,
and Buster, I think Buster's a great choice. Obviously, I'm a little biased in that choice. I agree and agreeing with it. But the other thing with this in this list is, have any of the names mentioned on this list been thrown out for these jobs? Because not really.
Well, it's because we're all retreading, bro.
Like the Haynes guy at Indiana. Like, why would Sig, you don't want to come? Well, I'll take your second in command. Kind of like Kirby Smart coming to Georgia. Like, Why would that not happen? Why would they not want to at least explore that initially? Because these people, and I think this is, if he's a semifinalist, it would be his third time, I think maybe in a row or third time total.
He was definitely there last year.
Yeah. So, like, why are these guys should be getting?
I would say Matt Patricia, Ryan Grubb, year one. So that kind of, they just got there. They just did this. Not as much longevity before probably you get to that point. Matt Patricia also failed at a very high level in the NFL. It was a very ungood run. But Haynes, I can get down with you, and Faulkner for sure.
Brent, I wonder y'all's take on this. When Saban was coaching, he had the coaching tree that everybody wanted to pick a piece of fruit from and get in their facility and get in their program. Who's that guy right now that has that? I mean, you could, like Kirby maybe, but Schumann's stock has kind of tanked a little bit this year.
Yeah, but man, you still got
his fault.
But you got Fran Brown, Shane Beamer, Dan Lanning, like the list of guys that they just. I mean, Kirby's got a lot of them out there now that it started to produce fruit. Like they've started.
I'm not saying they're not already out there, but like to Brent's point about why aren't more coordinators being brought up? Like there's not a guy like that with coordinators from a tree that seem that desirable. I don't know.
Well, I think nowadays too, I also think it's a new world of football. And so everybody's learning this new general manager. Okay, what's your plan? Like when you sit down with somebody and you go, like when you sit down with a new guy that is just learning this and hasn't done it yet, like to think about like a lot of these guys that sit there and marinate for a while, like Kirby knew exactly the playbook he wanted to use to go be successful. The game of football has changed and morphed and shifted so much with the moving goalposts of all this NIL and transfer portal stuff that like, and now GMs, like, who are you? What are you? What is your system? So I think people are catching up with that and going to have to figure out who they are. And then you'll start to see, because you got to have that. When you walk in a meeting, I've done this meeting before. I've walked in to be hired for a head coaching gig. It's literally, what's your blueprint? Like, what are your pillars? What's your blueprint? What you're saying? What are the things you're going to come and implement day one? What are how are you going to organize?
Who are you hiring?
X? Yes, like who are you bringing with you? Like these are all questions you have to ask. And in just this world right now, it's been so fluid and so changing. I think that's why you're not seeing as many coordinators because they don't have experience with it yet. They will. They'll have it soon.
And also, I think that's agents. When you see names, it's agents putting things out there that says, "Hey, my guy's potential. My guy's a possible candidate because if he doesn't get the job, he at least gets a raise where he's currently hanging out." There might be a little bit of that, just a little bit.
All right. Do we want to save the other list and get going because we're already a little bit of time into this? And Wesley, you want to go ahead and get to? Are we good?
I'd keep going. Keep going.
All right. Keep going. All right. This list is absolutely impossible. Like if you can do this and you can narrow this list to 5 and go, I'm 100% sure this is the best 5 wide receivers in college football, I'll kiss your butt. Like I don't see it. I just don't know how it's possible. You got literally, so the Blitnikoff, so make it a list, top 5 guys. You know how I did this? I'm going to do this better than anybody because guess what I'm doing? I'm taking Jeremiah Smith and I'm taking Mr. Carnell Tate. That's one. One. That's the one spot. I'm taking Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. 2, I'm taking Craver and Concepcion. Forget you. Hey, who else am I putting on the list? Surratt and Cooper. I mean, like you literally can grab those guys, man, because, you know, they're right there together. So here's guys on the list that you need to know their names. So those 3, man, we've been talking about them all season long. And obviously being, you know, the top 3 teams in the country, they speak for themselves. Mekhi Lemon. If you haven't watched him from USC, can take over games. They move him around. He's got speed. He makes those contested catches, even though he's not a big guy. How about Danny Scudero? Gosh, dang it. I had it earlier too, Brent. I did just like you did. Scudero. This is a guy, I went and watched this guy's clips because he's leading the nation in catches. He's leading the nation in yards. He's leading the nation in touchdowns. Like, this dude's a dude now. or number 2, I think. But like, here's what you see from this guy. He's a sophomore from San Jose State. I promise you, the dude will be in the transfer portal and he'll be at one of your schools next year. That's a guarantee. Like, that guy will be in the transfer portal again because he did after this year, and that dude will be somewhere absolutely on a high dollar amount because he's that good. Like, I went and looked up his tape. They literally move him around. He runs by guys like he's standing still. And Brent, he's got that hezzy crossover. He's got that, like, I love it. He's got that change of pace. Like, he pops off the line of scrimmage like chasing those guys. Like, really understands timing and rhythm. So he's got to be on there with his numbers. Like, you look at his numbers, they're crazy. And I'm gonna give you a couple other names real quick, and then I'm just saying we could add a bunch. Brazel from Tennessee. Like, he's been an unbelievable job scoring touchdown, making big plays, big frame, really good. And Chris Bell is a superstar. Loved him before the season. Love him every bit of much now. Absolute freak. I feel bad for Adam Rooks in the chat for Auburn because he could have a couple of guys that should be on this list. There's 2 that should be on this list if they had a quarterback. But because of that, they're not. But, man, you could go down these lists, man. I can name more. We could go through the list of more guys, but that's a lot of receivers that make a lot of plays.
And it's the position that matters most to me in the sport outside of quarterback. And we've talked about how impactful those duos are at the top of that. And that's my guess is Tate's going to be the Ohio State pick in terms of that world because of him being older.
Yes.
The fact that Jeremiah Smith will be back next year. So that's one, which in my world, I wrote this like 2-3 years ago. I think kids should be able to go pro after 2 years. So that's a whole other topic. Scudero, by the way, though, is second in the nation in touchdowns to Skylar Bell from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Who's also up there in terms of yardage. Scudero is, I think, literally the only target on his team because he also leads the nation in drops. But he's still a really good player.
Bell's also done it in one more game.
Yep.
Which is just, it's asinine, bro. Scudero, when you have 8 games played and you got 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, like, it's the dude's unbelievable.
110 or 111, I think was what I looked at targets in 8 games.
Well,
you're the guy. You're the guy.
And they move him around and feature him, which somebody will do in the future.
Which wasn't like the Nash kid, like from San Jose. Like he was kind of that guy a year ago.
Dude, feature him.
Got drafted late.
Yeah.
So they figure out how to do that very much.
How about KJ Duff from Rutgers? He's a sophomore that's at 854 and 6 tutties. Yeah. He's up there on the list. Brazel's
it's a great group.
It's crazy. I mean, Cooper Barkrate from how do you say his name? Barkrate from
Duke.
From Duke, but was it he was at Howard or Harvard?
Harvard.
One of those smart people schools. He's come over and he's absolutely torn it up. Hank Beatty's been great for Illinois. Like,
yes,
the list goes on and on, man. Like, there's a lot of receivers that are making plays.
You're going to have your work cut out for you when you have to actually make a list where you can't put 2 names in one spot.
Yep, but you know what? Right now I can, so screw you, Brent. I don't have to do that. What you think about that, you sorry sucker? All right. What you got, Wesley?
All right, we're looking at the draft. All right,
okay.
We're going to go ahead and let y'all know. A little spoiler alert. We're going to talk about the NFL draft once the college football season is over. And we're looking ahead a little bit. NDP, trade deadline in the NFL, wrapped up yesterday. Some interesting moves that kind of affect some of this stuff. When I look at the projected mock draft of the 2026 first round, I'm going to throw out some names in 2 different position groups, and you tell me which position group are you most excited to dig into of the guys coming out of college this year. And not all these guys have declared yet, so that's a caveat. Fernando Mendoza, we got Dante Moore, we got Ty Simpson, potentially. We got Lenora Sellers, a chunk of marble, Lenora Sellers. Maybe some work to do there.
He is absolutely chiseled.
Figure him out, but maybe he's got something under there that is nice to look at. All right, so those are some big names, but check out this list of edge players.
Oh my gosh.
Your boy Bain.
Oh yeah.
Out of the U.
Yep.
You got Ungale out of Oregon.
Yep. Kedrick Falk from Auburn is an absolute beast mode stud.
Yep, he's on there. LT Overton. Cassius Howell. So I think I know what you're going to go with, but when you compare it to last year, the quarterback class specifically is more exciting. But with these edge guys, I mean, dude, you got to be salivating, right?
Oh, dude. And Arvell Reese, you didn't even mention. Arvell Reese is an absolute baller. And I'll be interested to see where he goes because he's the guy that, I mean, he's got those hands that just, he puts them things on you. Like, puts them things on you. TJ Parker from Clemson, not much obviously with Clemson has gone right, but he's absolutely a stud. David Bailey's going to be in that mix. Stanford, obviously, to Texas Tech now, producing at an extremely high level. Like, it's fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch because the deal. It's crazy what we've come to. And listen, I'm in this world and I love it. Like, the quarterbacks obviously get the moolah. Running backs now are a dime a dozen. Receivers are starting to become more and more prevalent. I need somebody that can go get the quarterback and make his life hard. Like, that's what the draft is going to continue to become. So there's a bunch of guys that can put their hand in the dirt, go get it. Cassius Howell, you mentioned probably I guarantee you his 5-10-5 when they do the shuttle is going to be absolutely stupid. Romello Height on the outside also from A&M will be an absolute problem for people. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. We'll have all those guys too, man, that have done it for years and years with the draft. And Brent, you love the draft. I mean, you've always been a huge fan of the draft and followed. You listen to all the podcasts. And so what's the number one thing for you with the draft that you're looking forward to?
I want to see where Arvell Reese, and Caleb Downs go because they're to me likely the two best players. And
I don't think people realize how good
the
Arvell
position
Reese
they
is.
play. Like, does somebody look at Arvell Reese and say, "You're Micah Parsons, you got to play on the edge," kind of deal? So that will be interesting for me. Downs, how high does?
The answer is hell yes, hell yes. Like, because it's one thing to be like undersized and not be like Jalen Walker wasn't the most physical guy on the edge. Arvell Reese will hit you in between your eyeballs. Like, but still has the flexibility, obviously, to cover and do some things that you could use him in a special package. But that dude's every time you turn on the tape, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, I'm like, that dude's ridiculous. I mean, he just keeps making play after play. He's the reason that defense, you got a piece like him that's that versatile and Caleb Downs, it's cheating. Like, it's not fair. Like, because he could play a 3 technique and stone a guard right now. Absolutely. And Caleb Downs can play linebacker and play safety, like play nickel. Like, it's there's so many fun pieces, and that's why that defense is so stupid to stop.
And they have an NFL coach that you highlighted as a potential Broyles semifinalist. I think you see a lot of these quarterbacks come back, like somebody like Sellers, and maybe not necessarily coming back where they are currently. That's just a thought. So,
well, why would you stay, and why would you not go make that bread right now and develop another year? Lenore Sellers has absolutely done nothing to help his stock. Nothing. Now when he takes his shirt off, like Wes said, like, that dude's going to be like, "Yep, I'm him."
I want to clarify. I was not talking about his physique. I was saying, like, maybe there's a masterpiece that someone can chisel out, like what Brent was saying.
I thought you were saying with his shirt off that you liked what you saw. Okay.
Thought you had a man crush there, Wes.
Listen, Wes, you're deserving, okay? The dude's a freak.
I leave my mic muted, and you guys just cook me the rest of the show. I see how it is.
Nah, but I think that the draft's going to be awesome. But Lenore's is the perfect example of, like, what could be. If it clicks, it will get to here. It's not here yet, but Lamar Jackson was late in the first round. Look at what Lamar Jackson turned into. So when the clay is that good, it's hard to pass up consistently, especially as you get a little bit later.
Anthony Richardson was the 4th pick.
Yeah, and he wasn't great. I mean, he was not great in college at all. Like, there was very little. All right, we're already going super long on this show. So, Wes, are we going to get to Podium Kings, or
yeah,
let's rock and roll?
Yeah, I mean, I made the graphic, so we're gonna do it.
Get it.
We're gonna start off with the guy we just kind of alluded to, Fernando Mendoza. We're gonna start off easy, a little warm up here, short and sweet. Mendoza talking about Maryland's defense trying to take away the Hoosiers' passing game. Well, here's what happens when you do that.
As an opposing team, it's really tough to do that because we have one of the best run games in the country. So when you want to take away the pass, then all right, sure, we'll run 370 yards down your throat.
Yeah, shout out by the way to Adam Rooks, who DM'd us a wonderful mashup of Fernando Mendoza, which kind of got me down that track. But I love Mendoza, dude. I don't know what he's on. I don't know if the NCAA needs to investigate it. It's a lot of caffeine or whatever you take before the shows, DP, but he brings it. All right, next one. Not as cheerful. Bill O'Brien talking to a reporter who apparently doesn't show up that much.
You always come in here with these down questions. Like you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
How you doing?
I love every part of that. I love every part. He calls out Mike for not showing up. He has this picture of the dark clouds. I'm going to say that to my kids on the way to school every day, by the way. The sun is up. We're not down.
Absolutely.
What's up, Trevor? At the end was sweet. All right, you requested this one. Dabo, not a happy camper himself these days, but I do think this is interesting. I don't know about the call he's complaining about, but his general premise, 100% agree with, holding officials accountable.
It's impactful. So, as opposed to just getting a report on Monday, you turn in 10. We had a game. I'm not criticizing. I can't ain't gonna tell you the game. I'm not gonna say the game, but we're only allowed to turn in. There's a system of accountability, but y'all don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it. DP, do you? Can you enlighten us?
Absolutely. There's a system in which they grade the refs. Here's another thing too. Every college team, like when they go into a game, you know exactly what this ref is known to call, what he's not going to call. Like you have scouting reports. This has been going on. Bill Snyder's the first guy I ever heard about doing it way back at Kansas State 15, 20 years ago. Like they know exactly what they do, what they call, how often they call them. You got to make sure you're smart about this. And then your outfit determines what color gloves you wear. So they blend in sometimes with the other color jersey. And I know that sounds crazy, but all that stuff goes into it as much as absolutely humanly possible. All right, we're going to end the show. Irish fans, appreciate y'all. Y'all will appreciate this. CJ Carr, new lid and all, joining us as the first player. And we'll say it when I interview him, but like the first player to join us, current player to join us on C-Ball, Get Ball. Here's CJ Carr. Next, we got a special guest, our first player on C-Ball, Get Ball, CJ. So this is an honor to have Notre Dame starting quarterback CJ Carr. Hey man, the new hairdo, man. Like what happened with the hair?
I was watching a TV show, the Avatar, and I like the main character Aang in it, so I decided to go with a little Aang action and buzz the hair off.
So you literally watched a movie and said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and buzz my hair because of that.
Yeah, a little bit. And also, like during the season, you don't got a bunch of time to do it in the morning, and it was kind of making me angry in the morning. You got to wake up and press the sides down, so it's a lot easier.
Attaboy. Comfort over style. Absolutely. All right, CJ, I want to talk about your story a little bit, man. Like everybody knows, if you're a football fan, the grandson of Lloyd Carr. So Michigan. Your dad played at Michigan, right? Like, how did you get to Notre Dame, man, and not go blue in your veins as a kid from your family?
Yeah, growing up, I was a big Michigan fan. Big Michigan family. All my cousins go there. Went there. I have one there right now. But I visited Notre Dame a few times, and every time I came here, it just felt more and more like home. And the coaching staff was recruiting me real hard, and they were one of the only schools in the country that didn't think I was just going to go to Michigan, and they kind of went all in and recruited me hard. And I couldn't say no, man. It's the best place on earth.
That says enough. That should be the recruiting campaign for Notre Dame, when you can literally say, "Oh, family went there." Like, forget that. All right, so last year you come in as a freshman and you get to watch a team go to almost win it all. Like, what did CJ learn watching Riley Leonard, watching that squad go make magic happen a year ago and get so close to winning it?
It was a really cool year just because I think people remember it for the magic that happened and the run you go on at the end. But you also, inside the building, you remember losing to NIU week 2, and you know you're at the bottom of the barrel in college football, and you feel the emotions, and you're not really in it, and you're not getting scrutinized like Riley was, but you got to watch somebody come in every day and not worry about the outside noise, and he attacked every day just the same. And then we go on the run and we're in the playoffs, knocking teams off left and right. And so it was amazing just to have him as a leader and role model, showing you how it's done. Such
a great competitor, man. What did you say to him when he came to the sidelines in the natty and he's throwing up? Like, surely you said something.
No, he looked rough. He had taken some beatings, but that was Riley. He was going to do exactly what he needed to do to help the team win, and whether that was running it 12 times or throwing the ball, it was going to get done.
Well, I think he ran it at least 12 times on that first drive, man. I was like, dude, he's going to die. When you think about Coach Freeman, like, we all know Coach Freeman, and we see like the king of swag. Like CJ, like, my wife was like, one time she comes, Coach Freeman, she goes, "Who's that?" And I was like, "What's that supposed to mean, bro?" Like, she was like, "Well, most coaches are fat. Like, they're just like," but just Coach Freeman and just being around. What's something, man, we don't know about him? Like, people don't talk about him in the media that only y'all know about Coach and his personality.
I think people know this, but I don't think they get to see it as up close and personally as we do. But his competitiveness and his love for the game is he feels like he's just one of us, ready to go out on the field and attack the opposing team. And then also, it's not even in football. We play wiffle ball on Fridays before a game, and it's quarterbacks versus coaches, and he's in there, talking crap and trying to hit home runs.
Okay.
And so, everything he does is competitive. He wants to win at everything he does. And I think a lot of the guys in the facility can relate to that, because we're all, a bunch of competitive guys who just want to win.
How would you rate his athletic ability still?
I think he's an athlete. He's not like a baseball player. He can't hit real well, can't field real well, but
besides that, he's great.
I'm saying that because that would piss him off, is my guess. But yeah,
I like that. We'll make sure we post that. Well, one guy that is an athletic freak is number 4, and the list goes on. This past week, I literally am watching the game and I'm like, did he just look to the sidelines like while he was running that touchdown? Like, I mean, did you see that live in the game?
I didn't see it live, but we go to the sideline and the guys are all buzzing about it, and you get the iPad going and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what did he just do? It was awesome. And it just brings a certain level of confidence and energy to not only on our offense, but the guys on the defense are watching that saying, man, let's go get this ball back, and so we can, put it in 4's hands. And it's exciting.
What did he do? Tell everybody what he did do.
On the play, you're saying?
Yes, yeah. Tell America that.
We're on our own, 10-yard line, something like that. He breaks off a 90-yard touchdown, and as he hits about our own 40, he looks to our sideline. Our coach before this is some inside scoop, but our coach before this had said, our running backs coach, Coach Sider, he said, "Hey man, like, I think you're going to break one off here. When you score, like, hit the Heisman." And so he was running, looking at Sider, our coach, saying, "All right, get ready for this one, ready to go." And it was electric. And that's the confidence we have in him, is we're on our own 10. Our coaches are calling out like, "Oh, this is going to score. Let's just get him the rock."
Yeah, that's pretty. Is that the most? What's the most freakish thing you've seen Ford do?
Some of the hurdles are like, what are we doing? We have the ceiling in our locker room. I remember last year, there's nobody in the Goop can touch the ceiling, and the DBs are all trying. I definitely can't touch the ceiling, and all the guys are trying. And 4 walks in, and he's what are we doing? They're like, you got to touch the ceiling. Jumps up, touches the ceiling, walks away. It's like, oh my gosh, this kid
Doesn't even have to say much.
no.
Just it's good. No, it's crazy to watch kids like that. A lot of people talked about the rankings for y'all, man, and starting the season the way you did. Like, if you could face Miami again, like knowing what you know now, because that's one of the things that I loved about you on the opening week is there are a lot of people that looked like they were kind of lost and kind of the pressure got to them. I thought you competed your tail off, especially when you did the 35,000-yard scramble on your own, inside your own 10. Like, you probably got yelled at for that, but you made the play, so it really doesn't matter. But like going back and facing Miami, like what was hard about that challenge start one?
Yeah, I think, you just don't know what to expect kind of coming into game one. It's my first ever college game. And so there were a lot of unanswered questions. And, you start off 0-2, but I think through those 2 games, like, we realize it's not really about anyone else. It's about Notre Dame. It's about us. If we execute our plays and do what we're supposed to do, we're really hard to stop. And so it was exciting. And then you string together 6 wins, and you're in a really good position right now. And now it's just, continuing to stay consistent with the preparation and the performance and the execution. And we're ready to go against Navy.
Do y'all have a slogan in the building that y'all consistently say, or a theme throughout the week, or does it change?
It changes, but Coach Free always has his main kind of, phrases he says. Our big one is choose hard. We're at Notre Dame where you got to go to class. You come in, you're tired from class and studying, and then you got to go to practice and you got to study the playbook. And it's getting cold now. We're about to start snowing around here. And so everything we do is hard, and we're going to continue to keep choosing hard, because I think that's our edge. When we get into these dire situations, we're going to be ready to go.
All right. So last couple things. Can you describe A&M's defense? I don't know, like the stat of A&M's defense. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, they're number 1 in the country on third downs. It's like 20-something%. Like, it is absolutely silly. Like, describe A&M's defense and facing them maybe in week 2.
I remember playing them my freshman year with Riley, and just watching through that third down cut up, and you're like, oh my gosh, Elko's so good at understanding, seeing it through a quarterback's eyes and saying, okay, he wants to slide the protection. We're an odd. He wants to push it all this way. So we're going to show pressure here and then bring it the other way. And then we're going to show up in, just a base formation, and everyone's pressuring. They're coming in with 0. And so preparing for that third down defense was a challenge, but
so a lot of the mental, like just knowing and seeing and experiencing.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. So last question, man. Navy this week, different type of a deal option, obviously for your defense, which is totally different. But talk about coming into this game. What are the keys for Notre Dame? Not with just Navy, but like, what are you working on, CJ, and what is the squad working on to take a next step offensively to be consistent and be a team that can win the championship?
Yeah, we want to continue to get better at staying on the attack and not letting the defense dictate how we call plays or how we execute. We want to go out and recognize the look, and if we have a good play, we're going to execute it to the best of our abilities. And if something needs to be changed, we want to get us into a look that will produce the best outcome. And I think we got a good challenge against Navy, and it'll be a good opportunity to just continue to elevate.
All right, I lied. I got one more question. Who's the hype man on the squad? Who's the guy every week that brings the most juice? Is just crazy.
I always like Billy Schrouth. He's on the O-line. He when he says things, it's exactly what you need in the moment to get yourself going. And then on defense, it's a Don Schuler who's just getting the boys ready before the game and talking in the huddles and dapping everyone up before the game, getting them ready to go.
Who talks the most trash?
It's a good question. I'd say I'm up there for sure.
Okay.
I like to talk a little bit when we're rolling. Other than that, it's Those O linemen like to talk a little bit. Obviously, when Will Pauling, you see the dances in the end zone, he likes to get it going. We got a competitive, bunch of guys.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong when you do something. You earn the right to talk trash. CJ, congratulations, man, on the start and building your own lineage at Notre Dame, man. Fun to watch you compete. You're a heck of a competitor, and thanks for joining us, my man.
Thank you.